And Weisleder.
Wake up, Stanley.
Must I?
You must. It's showtime.
I got it.
Oh, come on, let's go. It's radio.
I'm thinking of what to say.
You can't think. There's no dead time in radio.
Anyway, this is Stan Weisleder on The View from Over Here in the studio with Malcolm Burman and our special guest for today, who will we will keep it a deep, dark secret until we are ready to introduce him.
But we have his picture on the
yes,
on the video.
Picture's there, so all of our listeners can see who he is before I even mention his name.
And if you recognize him, send an email us, and for the 10th emailer, we will give you a special prize. We're not going to say what it is yet. I think it's a dinner with Paul.
Paul,
our engineer.
The guy behind the control room?
Yes.
He's the guy who doesn't let me drop F-bombs.
Well, if he's up. I think he's up.
Or not
now.
eating a ham sandwich or whatever.
Well, he's kosher. He doesn't eat ham.
Okay. Anyway, hey, I'm probably going to get a lot of flack on this one, okay?
Yeah, and you probably deserve it.
Yes, always. Last week, I got something on the internet, and it was a very interesting photo, and it didn't look at all like it was doctored. It was a photo of a black man holding up a sign for all to see that said, "No mother should have to fear for her son's life every time he robs a store."
Yes.
I sent this around to some of my personal friends, and they said, "Where the hell did you get this?" I said, "It came to me. I didn't make it up."
Well,
anyway.
I think that's the humor. You used to be in the sheriff's department, right?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
I could tell you some humor about that. You'll freak out.
Well, that would be humorous if you're white. Excuse me.
Yes, okay. Am I white?
Not to be politically correct.
I didn't know I was white. I thought I was multicolored. Anyway, on a lighter note, the selling price of Bob Hope's 23,366 square foot estate in Palm Springs just had its price slashed to half, and it's now going for $25 million.
Oh, my God. Nobody told me.
Such a deal. Malcolm, you may have to get in line for that one. Now, it's also been reported that Israeli jets attacked positions in Syria last week in an effort to disrupt arms shipments to Hamas, who broke 4 internationally arranged truces with the excuse that they did it because they are an occupied land. So if that's the case, then why agree to a truce in the first place? Now, I haven't seen this poster, but there should be one that says, like the first one, "No Palestinian mother should have to fear for her child's life every time Hamas uses them as a shield to hide behind."
That's a good sign.
Yes. Anyway, that's the news for today, and we have Jonas ready. Jonas!
Yeah.
Are you sure you want to be connected with the show now?
I didn't say I ever want to be connected with the show, so it's no one asked me.
Oh, okay.
It's my pleasure to be connected to this show.
Jonas, you have the floor, and you're going to talk about...
I've got some wonderful plays that I've seen this week. It's been a great week for theater for me, and 2 of the shows, you don't even have to leave the building. They're both in the same theater. I had never actually been to the Wallis Annenberg Center since it's been open, and I spent all day Saturday there seeing 2 wonderful shows.
Where is that physically?
That is the old post office in Beverly Hills. They reconverted into a 2-stage theater where they're doing theater, they're doing ballet, they're doing concerts. It's really a lovely hall.
Oh, that's it. I heard something. I caught the latter part of a broadcast on National Public Radio about that. It's supposed to be a beautiful building.
But if you're going to go, this is the time to go. There's 2 very lovely shows. First of all, in the large stage, the Oregon Shakespeare Festival has brought their version of Into the Woods. Now, I know I talked about Into the Woods movie last week. Well, now I'm going back to the play. And this is really quite a bizarre but exciting production. It's almost like a zany version of the typical cerebral show. The approach is as if they had cast patients from the insane asylum. And it's very nutty, and shockingly, it works. I was a little worried because nothing in Act 1 is taken seriously. At intermission, I feared how the show could possibly earn the agonizing, tragic Act 2. But since when the show finished, I was crying, I figured they actually earned it, because it was very effective. One of the actors in the show, many L.A. theatergoers will recognize, it's Jeff Scoutron. He's done shows at 3D Theatricals. He's done Musical Theater West. He's actually played the baker at 3D Theatricals' version of Into the Woods before. He's wonderful in this production. I wasn't crazy about 3D Theatricals' production a few months ago, despite their stellar work usually. But this, he's heartbreaking. Christine Rose Anderson is almost raving mad as Red Riding Hood. She's hyperactive as a 3-year-old on Sugar Kick, and she's just hysterical. By casting the elegant Catherine Coulson as Milky White, Jack's cow, director Amanda Denhern sets up a perverse Harold and Maude dynamic between the boy and his bovine. It's rather crazy and actually works. The costumes are outrageous. The witch's makeup is sinister. Not everything works, but so much is penetrating that this is a very rewarding evening, and I highly recommend it. In the smaller theater is Love Noel, which is a combination of Noel Coward's songs and his correspondences with his famous friends. This show really gives his songs the respect they deserve. Most Noel Coward songs should be standards. They should be heard as often as Cole Porter, Rodgers and Hart, Irving Berlin, but they're not. Even someone who is a theater impresario like myself, or at least I think I am, knows very few of Noel Coward's songs.
We say you are.
Oh, thank you. Other than maybe Mad About the Boy, there were very few songs that I recognized.
Could you hum a few lines from that?
I will not. But I must say that his music really deserves a spotlight, and this is a great place for it. Coward was the bon vivant of the 20th century. He dined with Winston Churchill and the Queen Mother. He wrote plays for his friends, the Luntz, Gertrude Lawrence, Elaine Stritch, and B. Lilly. He was a confidant of Marlene Dietrich and Greta Garbo. His letters are pithy, but they also illustrate a dear love he had for all the people in his life. Harry Groener is who plays Coward, and he's got that snarky turn of phrase, as well as showing his empathy for the pain he felt for those whom his heart breaks for. Sharon Lawrence plays all the women roles, everything from Gertie L. to Stritchy to the Queen Mum to Edna Ferber. She invests in every role, not only converting her voice to each of the ladies' cadences, but also contorting her face to capture each's flavor. She doesn't have a belt for some of the songs, and her upper registry is light, but she still enhances each of those with a lovely alto voice, and she acts the songs with gusto.
Haven't seen her in a while.
She actually did a wonderful production of A Song at Twilight at the Pasadena Playhouse earlier this year. And so that was obviously Noel Coward.
Can you say how old she is?
I cannot, but okay. She looks gorgeous at any age. If she was 29, she'd look great for her age. She's truly striking. The third show, at the Gay and Lesbian Center, Leslie Jordan is doing his one-man show, Fruit Fly. It's a bawdy and touching tribute to his mother, who raised him as he attempts to see his life and choices through her eyes. Many people will know Leslie Jordan from the Del Shores series, Sordid Lives, but also for his Emmy-winning turn on Will and Grace. He's a hoot, dishing gossip about everything from Chattanooga wives at the beauty shops to drag queens at the illegal speakeasies, always with Jordan's fussy style. The timeline of his life culminates in a cruise where he took his twin sisters and his mother along with thousands of gay men. It's a moment of reckoning in their relationship, and it's beautifully told. A gifted storyteller, Jordan paints vivid pictures of his youth and makes his viewpoints irresistible. For those with less imagination, the photo album on the video screen shows the cast of characters in all their frilly dresses and coiffed hair. Jordan deals with real, relatable drama, including disappointing his father with his sissy behavior and shocking his mother into hysterical blindness with his coming-out antics. He touches on his drug and alcohol addiction, though his story is not primarily about him. It's about his mother, a woman of courage and wit that survived losing a husband at a young age and other extreme difficulties. So these are three wonderful shows.
Any movies for us today?
What'd you say?
Any movies for us today?
I have no movies for you today, although I did see a very interesting Netflix movie this weekend, which was a little too graphic for some taste, I'm sure, about two guys out on their luck that are given money for a spoiled rich couple to basically do whatever is at their bidding, and gets more and more repulsive until it winds up very bloody. And I wish I could tell you the title of the film. It's completely gone out of my head.
Then you really liked it.
I did, actually. I did like it. It has Ethan Embry. If you want to do your research, it has Ethan Embry, and was rather crazy. I just, for the moment, it's popped out of my head because I didn't expect you to ask me that question. But going back to theater, I really recommend going onto our website and looking where the tickets are for Into the Woods and Love Noel and A Fruit Fly. I know that Into the Woods and Love Noel are playing until, I believe, the 21st. I'm not sure exactly how long Fruit Fly is playing, but it should be on the website. I imagine it's another couple weeks. All three shows are fabulous and worth checking out this season.
And what's coming up for next week?
Next weekend, I've got one of my favorite plays, She Loves Me, which is playing at the Chance Theater. For anyone who doesn't realize, She Loves Me is by Bach and Harnick, who did Fiddler on the Roof. It is a musical version of The Perfumery, which was also at the Wallis last year, which was turned into one of my favorite movies, Shop Around the Corner, back in 1940, with James Stewart and with Margaret Sullivan.
Right. Yeah. There's a remake of that one also, I think.
We don't talk about that.
Judy Garland and
Van Heflin. We don't talk about that one either. Not a big fan of In the Good Old Summertime, and much less of a fan
of
the
one with Jimmy
Mail.
Stewart. I've seen that a couple of times.
Which one? You Got Mail or?
No, the one with Jimmy Stewart and Margaret Sullivan.
That's Shop Around the Corner.
Right.
It's one of my favorite films.
Well, who's that? Was that with Frank Morgan or the one with?
The Frank Morgan was in the original one.
Yeah. Morgan, yeah. Yeah, I'd like to see that original Shop Around the Corner with Jimmy Stewart. I'd like to see that updated with today's.
Well, they did. That's You Got Mail with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan.
You Got Mail.
Wasn't one of my favorite films.
That wasn't. Well, no. Okay, nah.
See, your wish was granted, and what a disappointment that wish was.
Yeah. Well, you didn't have the right casting directors.
Nah, it's just just didn't work.
I thought that was cute. That was a follow up with them on Sleepless in Seattle, wasn't it?
Which is much more enjoyable.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah, and one that most people haven't seen, which is Joe versus the Volcano, which I highly recommend. It's very quirky. It's by the writer of Moonstruck, John Patrick Shanley, who was also Pulitzer Prize winning playwright. Joe vs. Volcano was sort of a financial flop when it came out. Very few people saw it, despite the fact that Tom Hanks was big then.
I didn't like it.
I did. It's a kind of a movie you either will like or won't. It's got a sensibility that if you're into it, you will enjoy it. If you're not, there's nothing that you can do to enjoy it. But I think it's worth checking out at least. Yeah,
it's almost you have to like that type of movie.
Oh, absolutely, and it's very quirky.
Yeah,
it's a little quirky and cold for some people. But I just adored it.
Anyway, Jonas, you'll be back next week.
I will
with
be back
some
next
new things.
Tuesday.
But then you're going to be away for the next 2 Tuesdays.
I will. I will be in Vegas, and then I will be in Mexico.
Ah.
What's in Mexico?
I'm taking my husband on his 40th birthday to a cruise.
On a cruise to Mexico?
Yeah, so on Princess.
Ah. Yeah, I did that cruise. Well, I just did the 5-day cruise.
This is 7, so it'll be very wonderful.
Well, be prepared to get drunk, eat a lot of food.
I don't drink, but I'm sure I will have lots of indigestion.
And there should be a lot of gambling in there.
I don't gamble either, but I'll have lots of indigestion.
What the hell are you going to do?
I'll have lots of indigestion.
Take bicarbonate.
Exactly. Well, have a great week, everybody.
Okay, Jonas,
we'll
you
speak
have
to you
a good
next
one.
week. Okay, that's our exit cue. It's perfect timing. And what are we going to have coming up next?
Well,
a teaser. We need a teaser. What's happening next?
We have a special guest today. Do we have?
Don't say his name. 60 seconds.
60 seconds.
30 seconds now, quickly.
We'll give his name.
No, not his name.
Not his name?
No, we have to keep our listeners.
Okay, we have a very special guest on who's going to keep you in stitches.
Who shall remain nameless.
He will be nameless for about a minute or two after we get rid of this annoying commercial.
You're listening to The View from Over Here, heard on crntalk.com, and stay tuned for a mystery guest.
The Trees, an epic novel by Stan Weisleder, told in the Godfather fashion, with 2/3 of the book taking place in Las Vegas and describing the transition from the mob to Howard Hughes to corporate America. This book is Las Vegas. Jim Santangelo from the International Brotherhood of Teamsters said, I didn't grow up in New York or Las Vegas. I grew up in Jersey City, but I know everyone in this book. I loved it. Hal Rothbart, publisher, says, I wish I had written it. The Trees by Stan Weisleder.
Are you married? Do you and your husband both have term life insurance? If you both don't, you should. You have a lot to protect. Call now, get a free quote for your husband, and while you're at it, get a quote for yourself too. Because you both need term life insurance. Call now. 800-915-9542. 800-915-9542. 800-915-9542. Rates are at all-time lows. We'll shop over 30 top-rated companies to get you the best possible rates. Term life insurance. It's the perfect way to protect the quality of your family's lifestyle. You and your husband both need term life insurance, so call now for a free quote for the both of you. 800-915-9542. 800-915-9542. 800-915-9542.
When it comes to computers, some would-be users are all thumbs. Enter the AARP RealPad.
Easy to use. We actually constructed this from soup to nuts to be easy to use for someone who's a technology novice, someone who's technology shy.
That's AARP tech expert Terry Bradwell talking about the new computer tablet with a quick fix feature.
So when you're losing things like your Wi-Fi or Bluetooth connection, having that one button where you don't have to go into settings and know exactly where to go to fix your equipment.
So you stay connected without intricate steps to get back online. And there's a 24-hour help desk.
It's not about just asking questions about the device. It's really asking any general how-to question. How do I navigate to this site? I got this email. What do I do with it? Is it fraudulent? So they can help you with a lot of general questions that you would have, really outside of just what the RealPad can do.
To check out its many features, go to aarprealpad.org. I'm Aileen Ellis. That's Primetime Focus, brought to you by AARP.
The next time you're in Southern California, visit the Riviera Restaurant in Calabasas. Riviera, as the name implies, is the ultimate in Calabasas restaurants. There's not even a close second. And what's better suited for the Beverly Hills of the Valley than a Beverly Hills type of restaurant and watering hole without those ridiculous Beverly Hills prices? They're so good. With impeccable service, they probably don't even need this commercial. Even now, it's hard to get a good table except for off hours. But if you really want to treat yourself or your date, call 818-224-2163. That's 818-224-2163. That's the Riviera Restaurant in Calabasas, California. Riviera.
Take it away, Stan.
Okay, this is Stan Weisleder back on CRNTalk.com here in the studio with Malcolm Burman and Malcolm Barry Burman.
Much better.
Much more better. And we have our special guest today.
Who is
New Jersey's bad boy, who also goes by the name of Mike Marino.
Well, hello, everybody. It's nice to be here.
Mike is a nationally known comedian with I'd say probably over 24 IMDb credits.
What is IMDb?
International Movie Database.
And you expect our audience to know that?
I didn't even know it.
Right, Mike didn't even know that.
A lot of our audience does know that because they're in that same business. And he's been on countless TV shows, more than I can count. And he's going to talk to us today about, I have absolutely no idea.
Sex and the Single Comedian.
Sounds great. I'm ready to go for that topic.
All right, Mike.
I like the fact, I just want to say thank you for bringing me on the show as a secret guest. Because I am Italian, I am from New Jersey, and I like to keep everything quiet.
Yes.
Nobody needs to know where I am or what I'm doing, especially when I'm on the radio. It's a secret.
Well, actually, you're also being viewed.
And I'm being videotaped, too.
Right.
What's that camera doing in here?
Do you have any friends from Brooklyn?
I have some friends in Brooklyn. I have friends in New Jersey. I got friends I can't talk about. I'm very connected.
Yeah, I went to well, little did I know, my cousin married this guy. It wasn't Italian, but his name was Henry Hill.
Is that right?
Right. And I went to the wedding. I didn't know I was sitting next to some of the top guys in the
Is that
organization.
Really? You have somebody that married Henry Hill?
Yes, my cousin Karen.
Karen? who is, written about, I guess, in the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
She did, and actually, her children wrote a book about how it was being brought up as children of a federal witness protection program.
I would love to hear her story. I'd love to meet her. I actually met Henry Hill a couple of times because he wanted me to be his opening act when he was doing some stage performances. And recently, I would say about a month ago, I was the opening act for Dina Martin, and we did this big show, and his brother was there, Joe Hill.
Oh, I don't remember. Henry passed away, I think, last year or the year before.
And you know what this says? It's a small world.
It's a very small world.
Well, the funny thing, Henry was over. It was one of the talk shows about 2-3 years ago. And the host said, "Henry, aren't you afraid, that they still have a contract out on you?" And he said, "What, are you kidding? I have one of the wise guys call me up, take me out to lunch, and they say, 'Hey, I have a script.'"
Right.
How am I going to get it produced? Because Henry became a producer.
I was working in Vegas as I go out there quite often, and I was doing a show called The Sit Down. Well, I was the host of the show, and I interviewed 3 wise guys. 2 guys were in their 40s. They're living in witness protection. And one guy was Colada, the one they made the movie Casino about. And, boy, what they said was petrifying. How scary. But now they have really no life. They have books out, but they have no life.
Well, I hear it's not the same thing anymore.
But
everybody turns state witness.
I got to tell you.
Tell me.
I go to Vegas a lot, like once a month, whatever. And everybody who I talk to, who lives in Vegas, who doesn't live in Vegas, whatever, everybody, with no exception, they all say that they liked Vegas better the old way, the way it was before.
Well, the only thing I don't like about Vegas, it's becoming like a Disneyland. When I first went out to Vegas, if you went to the casino, if you went to shows, you wore a jacket and tie. You were dressed. Now you go there.
You go in your underwear.
No, you go to any shows. They're wearing cutoffs. They're wearing shorts. They're wearing flip-flops. There's no sort of grace or dignity anymore.
Yet it's become all corporate.
The skyline has changed drastically. It's always going to change, whether it's going to go higher or wider. And the funniest thing is you could play at a place called the Riviera, let's say, and I'm performing there, and guys do come dressed up, and they have the old school thing about it, or the old school way about it, like your suggestion that it was better. But sometimes you play the MGM Grand, and you're in this big, beautiful theater, and people come in shorts and flip-flops and tank tops.
And you just wonder, because they're paying good money. I mean, the shows are $150, $200 a ticket, minimally.
Yeah? Very expensive.
Yeah, you know who started that big ticket thing?
You.
No, Barbara Streisand.
I think it was way before Barbara Streisand.
No, when you had to pay $300 or more to go to see her.
I'm $20.
Anyway, guys, it's time for another break. You're listening to The View from Over Here, heard on crntalk.com. You can get us on www.viewfromoverhere.com and hear our back shows. And stay tuned. We'll be back in a few minutes and hear more about Las Vegas and the life of Mike Marino and where he's going to appear, and maybe even some jokes. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
And his new CD.
A Killer of Lions by Stan Weisleder. There were 4 squadrons of black fighter pilots during World War II that had to fight 2 air forces in order to gain recognition, the Luftwaffe and the U.S. Army Air Corps. The HBO special and the recent attempt at a full-length feature film do not come close to the full and true story of these brave men. They were not ball players, they were not rap singers, they were fighter pilots and American heroes in the truest sense. A Killer of Lions by Stan Weisleder.
It's saving season at Lumber Liquidators. This is the time to get the flooring you want at an incredibly low price. Get over 20 styles, including the look of oak, maple, and cherry, all for under $1. You'll pay as much as $249 somewhere else. But we've got 12mm Brazilian cherry laminate for just 99 cents. Plus, save even more with incredible closeout prices on solid, pre-finished hardwood and bamboo. And get 18-month special financing on flooring and installation. 'Tis the season for big savings. So visit LumberLiquidators.com to find a store near you.
Kaanapali Beach Hotel, Maui's Hawaiian Hotel. Located in the heart of Maui's premier resort, Ka'anapali Beach Hotel is officially recognized as Hawaii's most Hawaiian hotel and the #1 best value in Hawaii. With a range of accommodations and affordable dining options, this is the ideal setting to turn Hawaiian dreams into lifelong memories. Live Hawaiian entertainment every evening, free year-round children's programs, weekly arts and crafts fairs, welcome breakfast, and departure kukui lei ceremonies add to the value. Swim in the whale-shaped pool. Indulge in the fabulous spa and hotel salon. Enjoy Hawaiian hospitality at its best at the Ka'anapali Beach Hotel. Call 800-262-8450 or go to kbhmaui.com. That's kbhmaui.com. Aloha.
Ka'anapali Beach Hotel, Maui's Hawaiian Hotel.
As a small business owner, there's one word that you absolutely dread: payroll. For small businesses, it's a big burden. You may think you're saving time and money doing it yourself. But come on, are you? Timesheets, processing checks, calculating taxes, a total waste of your time. Paychex simplifies payroll processing, saving you time and money. Submit your payroll online, fax it in, or call your dedicated Paychex payroll specialist. And you're done. Learn more at trypaychex.com. Come on, do the math. The IRS dishes out 8 million penalties a year. Make one mistake, and you're on the hook. On average, you're losing nearly 1 business day every month doing payroll. That's time and money you'll never get back, unless you get Paychex. More than 500,000 small businesses already do. Call 888-578-5378. Trade payroll pressure for peace of mind. Call now. 888-578-5378. That's 888-578-5378.
There's no better way to say I love you. I'm thankful you're in my life. I'm glad to be with you. I'm thinking about you, or I miss you. Then with a spectacular flower arrangement from ProFlowers.com. A gorgeous fresh flower arrangement is a must to dress up every birthday, holiday, or anniversary. As a special treat for you, your beautiful flowers start at an amazing low price of $19.99. And ProFlowers.com will include a free vase with floral orders. Imagine a beautiful bouquet of 100 blooms for only $19.99, with a free vase included. Every festive bouquet is guaranteed to last at least 7 days. Tell your loved ones you're thinking of them with flowers. Go to proflowers.com/radio and enter your code to receive this special offer. Enter code DAISY. That's proflowers.com/radio, code DAISY. Send a bouquet they'll never forget from proflowers.com/radio, code DAISY.
Okay, the break's over. It's time to get back to business.
You mean I have to wake up?
Yeah, well.
I'm just having a good nap.
No, you weren't. Everybody was looking at you, and they found out that you were not telling the truth. Remember, they're seeing you on TV.
I never tell the truth.
You always tell the truth because your nose gets bigger.
My middle name is not Pinocchio. Anyway,
well,
we have with us
nose,
today, aside from
your body.
Malcolm Barry Burman, who won't shut up, we have our special guest today, Mike Marino, a very well-known, well-traveled, and he knows everybody, comedian kind of guy. So, Mike, why don't you tell our listeners about your new CD, where you've been, where you're going? You know, plug yourself.
Well, I like the way you put that. I was going to plug myself. First of all, I just want to say that
Not with a gun.
Pinocchio was Italian, so I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah, I've been really, really lucky. I've been touring the country for the past 20 years. I've been all over the world, actually, doing a lot of Australia lately. And
wait a minute, I have to interrupt you. In Australia, they have I know we speak the same language, but they have an odd kind of accent. Do they understand you perfectly?
Oh yeah, because I don't have an accent. I'm in California 2-3 years. I lost that Jersey accent.
2-3 years.
But some of the the idioms that we use here, and you probably use in your comedy. Would they go over in Australia or London when they may not? Because I found out a lot of people who do not speak our English as a first language take language literally. I don't know if that's the same true for Australia or London.
You know what I do is I put a slant on the fact that I am Italian, I am from New Jersey, and this is the way I am. And the bottom line is the world has an affection for that attitude. They really do. Mm-hmm. So wherever I go, even when I went out to Dubai, I went to India.
Wait a minute,
People just have...
you performed in Dubai?
Exactly. They have an affection for wise guys.
Oh,
they want to know if this is real. Does this exist?
Is that why you wear that bulletproof vest
That's
when
right.
you perform?
Because I don't want to take it in the back while I'm performing. But and that's how I got the label New Jersey's bad boy. Because when I came to California, everybody said, you people from New Jersey, you sound like this and you act like that. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, who's that comedian that does that? The New Jersey kid. He's been on the Tonight Show. I always forget his name.
I really don't know.
He's a Jersey boy.
I hope it's me because I've been on the Tonight Show hundreds of times in the last 10 years.
Must have been him, Malcolm.
No, I'll think of it. Anyway, let's get back to what you're doing and where we can hear you. And
Well, I'm at MikeMarino.net, and of course you can log on and find out where I'm going, where I'm touring, what I'm doing. Recently, I filmed a new DVD, which is a DVD CD. Gets released today, December 9th.
And how can we get it?
You can go to iTunes right now, or you can get the bootleg copy from me on my website. But you didn't hear that from me.
Okay, well, I could tell you're from Jersey.
Yeah. So right now we start off on iTunes, but then it's going to go to everything. Netflix, hopefully it'll hit Showtime, HBO, wherever it's going to air. And then the best thing would be if you could pick it up in Walmart, Target, stores like this across
How about
the country.
Costco?
I don't know if it's big enough for Costco.
And
Is Costco crazy? I went to Costco the other day. You can buy a coffin. How do you buy a coffin? Who's buying coffins in bulk? How many coffins do you need?
Well, it depends how big your family is.
I guess, right? And why are you buying so many at the same time?
I mean, if you're Catholic and don't believe in birth control, you can buy 7 or 8. Or if you're Hasidic Jews, do you ever see them walking down each year? They have another kid.
Yeah. They even sell the coffins at the exit. It makes you wonder.
On the way out.
How is it an impulse buy? How do you say, you know what, let's just pick up a coffin. We're here.
We're here, might as well.
Right?
Yeah, strap it to the roof of the car.
Like Christmas trees, right?
Well, together with your 50-gallon jar of mayonnaise.
Right. NyQuil comes in a keg. How sick do you need to be?
And anyway... So it's
just a couple of things I've been thinking about. You know what I really don't like these days, if I could share it with you guys? Self-checkout. Wherever you go now, you check your own items out. Do you like that?
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
Yeah,
they work there, they should do it.
Yeah, but the problem is I buy alcohol, and you can't self-check alcohol out.
You can't proof yourself.
No.
Let me see your ID. Shut up, it's me.
Right. Hey, I go over to, I think it's CVS or a Rite Aid. They make me show proof of age. Do I need proof of age? Do I not look 21 years old?
You're kidding. They ask you for proof of age?
Proof of age.
Well, maybe they think you're too old to drink.
Maybe. To drink and drive at the same time.
I figure from now on, if I have to check out my own items, I want an employee discount. I work here for 3 minutes. I want 10% off.
That's I think
Have you tried that on the manager?
I'd like to be the manager.
Mm-hmm.
I'd fire myself. You're not good. All I'm doing is swiping.
You swipe? Yeah,
swipe.
In New York, when I grew up, to swipe means to steal.
Right.
And they say, okay, swipe your card. I don't have to swipe the card. I own it.
Right.
Well, words always change the meaning. Like in the old days, many, many years ago, when you used the expression hot pants, that was like a fashion thing. Now it's a condition.
Well, the word I always look at, it's a gay old summertime,
Right.
There's a gay old time. He was a gay blade.
You can't do that now.
No.
Well, we could do it. We're on radio.
Yeah, well, you might get kicked off the radio. Yeah, I never even thought I'd get to the age where I would start saying the way things used to be, kids today. I never heard the term timeout till I moved to California. This guy told me, I don't spank my kids, I make them take a timeout. I said, well, what is that? He said, you put them in their room and they think about what they did wrong.
And then you run the commercial.
Right. I don't even think he's going to think about it. I mean, I had timeout when I was a kid. It was how much time I was out when my mother punched me in the head.
Right.
That was a timeout.
I remember my mother, can I say this on the air?
We'll find out in a minute.
Okay, he'll bleep it. I was about 5 years old. Okay? And my cousin Mish, who's dead, he got shot in the course of a holdup. Anyway, he took some mud and he put it on his white shoes. I says, what are you doing? He says, I'm polishing my shoes. So I said, I'm going to do that too. So I do that to my white shoes. And my mother comes over and says, what are you doing? I'm polishing my shoes. She gives me a whack in the head. And I looked up at her and I called her, you bleeping bleep. Well, you know what? I didn't use the words. He could sleep.
Yeah.
He could go back to sleep. Next thing I remember, I was flying in the air with my bicycle. I was just up in the air flying, and I never used those words again.
Well, that's the whole thing about political correctness now. Who was the football player who he hit his kid with a stick or something?
Right.
And switch. And then they suspended him from football playing. I wonder if nuns do that at Catholic schools, would they suspend them?
Could you imagine? I had a nun.
Did you go to Catholic
school? First grade, second grade, I had a nun, and she cracked you in the fingers with the stick. And that was because maybe your penmanship was bad.
Because I have friends to this day, when they do something bad, they stick their hand out. They want to be whacked. They went to Catholic school.
I don't know. My father had a thing called the warning whack. He hit you because you thought you might do something
right.
wrong.
Preventative.
Yeah, preventative.
Well, I don't know.
A preemptive.
Right.
A preemptive attack.
Preemptive.
So if you're Italian, I'm Jewish. We grew up in the same families.
Right.
Because a lot of my friends in my neighborhood, you were either Jewish or Italian. There was no in between, and it was always the mother would say, "Wait till your father comes home," and the father would come home and say, "What did he do? Not so bad," and he went to eat.
Right.
Because the father didn't want to deal with it.
It's exactly.
He went to work the whole day. He wanted to relax when he come home. He didn't want to discipline his kid.
Basically, life was all about food and when you were going to eat.
Well, it's the same thing. In Italian, it's mangia.
Yeah.
In Spanish, it's come. In Yiddish, it's es mein Kind. Same thing.
Yeah, I miss when my mother used to make the Sunday dinners and everybody used to gather. And then she complained, "This is it. I'm not going to do it no more." Till the next time she did it.
What did you have for Sunday dinner?
Can you remember pasta?
Can you imagine?
I can't even have pasta now. That's how times have changed. I'm lactose intolerant. How'd that happen? I grew up on pizza, cheese, macaroni. Now I can't go down a dairy aisle without grabbing my stomach.
Mm. What I miss is, I think I mentioned this, in New York they had the San Gennaro Festival.
Yes.
And the St. Anthony Festival, one beginning of the summer, one at the end. And you could not get like sausage and peppers. Mm-hmm. On a hero sandwich. Well, in New York, it's hero.
Nice big
hero.
And you would eat it, and the juice would come out all over you.
Oh.
I remember I used to buy, this is a long time ago, a meatball hero sandwich, 35 cents.
Well, I never had that experience.
No.
I'm older than you.
35 cents now can't even get you one meatball.
Yeah. Now, what is it where they make, is it a calzone or zeppoli, where they make the dough and throw it into the...
Yeah, calzone and everything's inside of it.
And they throw it into the hot oil.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about a zeppole.
Yeah. And then they put the powdered sugar on there.
Oh, they're the best. Oh. It's the worst thing for you, but it's fantastic.
But it's the best.
You know where they have something like that now? If you go to that restaurant, it's a chain. God, I'm having a brain fart now. I can't think of the name of that restaurant.
Okay, we have another 20 minutes.
Olive Garden.
Oh, no,
not the...
well, we might have that as a sponsor.
Garden, yeah.
The Olive Garden?
They have something like that, yeah.
I took my mother to the Olive Garden. She cracked me in the back of the head.
If you're in New York, I don't know, I haven't been there for years, a place called Carmine's.
Carmine, sure.
On the Upper West Side, on I think 91st Street and Broadway.
And there's one on like 44th or 45th.
And everything is family style.
Right.
They serve out, you order a bowl of pasta. It's like $40, but it can feed 18 people.
Right.
It could feed third world countries.
You go to a good Italian restaurant, you're going home with a doggy bag, and you're having lunch the next day. Nowadays, you go to an Italian restaurant, and they give you just enough to eat. It's not going to be good food. It's just the way it is.
There's a place in Little Italy, I don't know if they have it anymore, where they made their own wine. And this is going back in the 70s, and you buy a bottle of wine for, $2.
Right.
And you have 2 drinks, and you're flying.
That's because they made it in the bathtub, and Giuseppe, who works in the kitchen, he's the one who stamped on the grapes.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you find those places, and they bring you out a wine that's called grappa. And that's made from the vine of the grape. And you take one hit of that, and you waste it. Doesn't taste good either. Yeah. We call it Italian moonshine.
Yeah, but after the second drink, you couldn't care less of what it tastes like. You don't taste.
Hey,
we just came from Thanksgiving, and in an Italian household, Thanksgiving dinner starts with raviolis. So by the time the turkey gets to the table, you're already full.
Yeah, I've been to dinners like that. Mike, you ever go to a restaurant in Manhattan called Patsy's?
No, I don't know Patsy's. I know there's one here in Burbank called Patty's.
Patty's I've been to. Now, there's one restaurant that you can never make reservations. and it's on the Upper East Side. I think it's like about 110th Street.
Right.
But you go, but they don't take reservations, and you go there, you think it's empty, and you have all these limousines double parked in front of it.
This is in Manhattan.
Manhattan. I wonder why.
That's great, isn't it? It's nice to be part of that.
Yeah.
Mike, you've probably had this question posed to you a number of times, but I have to do it anyway. I won't ask for one, but who are some of your favorite comedians?
Well, growing up, before I ever thought I'd be a comedian, Jackie, we mentioned Jackie Mason before, who I think is fantastic. But I also thought my childhood legend to me was Rodney Dangerfield.
Rodney.
I always thought Rodney Dangerfield was a phenomenon. And, of course, I like Richard Pryor. And then I was a fan of Andrew Dice Clay. I would say about 15 years ago, I was lucky enough to go on tour with Andrew Dice Clay when we did Andrew Dice Clay and the Bad Boys of Comedy, which was great. And then now I see comedians every night that I think are phenomenal, but you might not know their names because they're up and coming.
Well, why do you think generally in the comedian field, you generally associate that with, for some reason, for Jewish? And the singing field, that's where you are the Italian names. You know,
that's true. That's true. I agree with you on that. Yeah, a lot of the Italian names come up with phenomenal songs, and they got that Italian charm and that olive oil voice.
So where did
the Jewish guys? I don't know why they just had the. I guess it's the rhythm of comedy.
Yeah, so where did you go wrong? How come you're not a singer?
I can't sing a note.
When you talk about a lot of Italian singers being good. You have that duo now of Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga.
I saw that the other night on TV. It was fabulous.
Good. And you know what? Aside from the Italians being good singers, they make great lemon ices, which you can't get here on the West Coast.
Wow. I do remember. You remember lemon ice? The Italian ices? And it came in a little white cup.
Yeah.
And then when you were done eating it, you chewed on the cup. Yeah, now I don't know where you get that.
Would you want to open up a restaurant in Beverly Hills? Would be fine.
We'll call it our restaurant.
Our restaurant.
Whose? It's yours too.
Well, that would be a good thing. A
matzo
restaurant.
Balls and meatballs. I'll go into business.
What
with
about
the
a
Jews.
restaurant owned and run and populated by comics, where they come out there and they make you laugh while you're eating?
Well, who knows about that? Yeah.
Well, who are some of your favorite singers? Let's see, going back.
Well, of course, who couldn't not be a fan of Frank Sinatra? Luckily enough, now I'm working with Louis Prima Jr., as I said before, so I was a fan of his father, Louis Prima.
Do they have any similarities, voice or anything, or style?
Yeah, they look alike, they act alike. He does the same type of show his father did. He has the big brass band sound, and they dress like they're in the zoot suit time. But now he's doing some original tunes, and the people just go crazy. Everybody's jumping, dancing, having fun. We just did a show together, too, I think a couple of days before Thanksgiving in New York City, and it was a lot of fun. Which is great for me because they like having me around, too. They let me come out and do the last song with them. I can't sing, so they shut my mic off, but it looks like I'm singing. Well, I'm going to be with them again in Vegas on New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve. Where are you appearing New Year's Eve?
We're doing a private function at the MGM Grand.
Well, you're going to be at the Riviera,
I'll be at the Riviera for 7 shows. December 27th through January 4, I'll be at the Riviera.
And you might have Stan come and watch you, maybe even tape you.
It'd be great. I'll put all you guys on the guest list. You have some fun. Sit in the front. Bring you some pizza.
How is the pizza?
I have to have mine with pepperoni.
Okay.
All right,
now the question. We're coming up to our last segment now. Who makes the best pizza? You're Italian. You should know this. Whether Los Angeles versus New York versus Las Vegas. Think about it because we're coming up to a break. You're listening to
important question.
You're listening to The View from Over Here. Heard on CRNTalk.com and heard on the internet, www.viewfromoverhere.com for all our back shows. And we are available for sponsorships. We're doing our new 2015 special program. Give us a call. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
Every day is Save the Earth Day, and each of us has a part to play. For more information and how you can do your part to save the Earth, contact us at SaveTheWorld.net. That's SaveTheWorld.net.
Experience a luxury boutique hotel escape in the heart of Laguna Beach, California. With the finest art gallery, shopping, dining, and nightlife just steps from your door. The heart of Laguna Beach, the edge of the sea. It's the Inn at Laguna Beach. Enjoy our comfortable rooms, blending the style of a timeless beach bungalow with the modern comforts of today. 70 newly appointed guest rooms and suites await you at the Inn at Laguna Beach. Then, relax at the rooftop bar, where you'll indulge in breathtaking views of the ocean. For dining, you'll find libations and local cuisine on the California coastline, including dining at the legendary Las Brisas, a Southern California landmark. The Inn at Laguna Beach, footsteps from room to village to sea, located in the heart of Laguna Beach. The Inn is within walking distance of all that Laguna Beach has to offer. No car required. The Inn at Laguna Beach, 211 North Coast Highway in Laguna Beach, California. Call 800-544-4479 or visit inatlagunabeach.com.
Did you know that with a bachelor's degree, on average, you can make almost twice as much over a lifetime than a person with just a high school diploma? Yes! According to the U.S. Census Bureau, you can make almost twice as much. Going back to college is now easier than ever. There are select online colleges that provide laptops to their students. In fact, there are thousands of college programs on your laptop. You can go to college anywhere and everywhere right from a laptop. Call My College Laptop and you can find hundreds of programs from accredited colleges and universities nationwide. Start a new career in law enforcement, business, information technology, healthcare, and hundreds of others. Call My College Laptop to find an online college that will provide you with a laptop. In no time at all, you can double your earning potential. Double your earning potential. Call now. 1-800-731-4185. That's 800-731-4185. 800-731-4185.
Someday there'll be a cure. Someday we won't lose the people we love. But when is someday? Someday is today. Thanks to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, hundreds of thousands diagnosed with blood cancer are today living a normal life. We're making cures happen. Join us. Call 888-HELP-LLS. Go to LLS.org. Help us reach today sooner.
Okay, Stan, we're in a home stretch.
We are back with Mike Marino.
I'm
and
still
Mike,
here.
have you figured out that very complicated question that
The pizza
Malcolm
question.
gave you?
New York City, Ray's Pizza.
That's
New Jersey, you want to go to Alfonso's Pizzeria.
Where in Jersey?
It's in Scotch Plains, New Jersey, which is where I live now. And then when you come to California, Frankie's on Melrose has great pizza.
Frankie's on Melrose.
Frankie's, New York Italian restaurant.
Yeah, Kathy Moriarty had a...
That's right. Oh, I forgot about that. Mulberry Street.
Mulberry Street.
Okay, so I think she still has it.
There was one in Beverly Hills, and I think they opened up one in Encino, in the Valley.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been to Mulberry Street.
Mulberry Street, yes. He'll make you a Brooklyn-style pizza.
Yeah.
And you can get it by the slice, too.
But you know what I like? I like Baroni's. It's like an Italian version.
on Oxnard.
I like it because it's a thin crust, so it's not as fattening. Mm-hmm. A thin crust with all of the goodies on top.
Well, back in the old days, back in Coney Island, we had Di Salvo's was an Italian bakery, and they used to make pizza, but it was the Sicilian style. Oh. It was the square pizza.
Square, nice and thick.
Thick and...
Oh, I can go for a slice of pizza. This whole show is making me so hungry I can't handle it.
Okay, in the next few minutes, let's talk more about you.
Sure.
What do you have online? What do you have? Where are you going to appear? And what do you have for sale?
While I'm here in California right now, I'm going to be at the Laugh Factory in Hollywood this Friday and Saturday night. And then next week, I'm going to go out on tour. So if anybody wants to find out where I'm performing, you just go to MikeMarino.net. You can find my showtime schedule, where I'm going throughout 2015. I do have a movie coming out in February of next year. It's called Critic Sized. It's a thriller. I play the co-starring role of a detective who's going to find this murderer. Can't talk much more about it than that, but you can check that out.
It's a leading part. It's a big part.
Yes, co-starring role, serious role.
2015?
2015.
When is it coming out?
In February of 2015.
We have to get Jonas to review it.
No, we have to get us to review it because we're on the red carpet, right?
All right, sure, whatever you want. When we do the premiere, we'll come on the radio.
Come on the show.
Talk about it. You guys come down, and you could bring Jonas and.
In fact, we'll bring even the microphone down.
Bring the mic. We could do a radio plug live.
We'll tape it
live.
No, I want to do it live. No, we can't do it live because we're not on.
live. We'll tape it. But we can't do it live.
Live on tape.
Right.
Yes.
Whatever you want to do.
I
think
hate
it's called
that.
a remote.
No, the big thing I hate is I'm from New York, so all the big shows were live.
Right.
Now you live in L.A., everything is a 3-hour separation, so they have live. And it's not live, it's live on tape.
Right.
What's live on tape?
And it's a call-in.
Yeah.
But we could hook you guys up like that, and we can have a lot of fun. And also, I just finished a TV show called Reconstructing Jersey, which is actually
sounds like a documentary.
It's a parody of my actual family in the construction business, paving freeways and highways.
Oh, I think your family is in the construction. I thought you said you weren't connected.
I'm not connected. My family is.
I've seen the TV series where the family's in the construction business.
Mike, can you tell us who's in this new movie with you?
The star of the movie, his name is Colin Blue. I think he's from England, and he's been on a couple of TV shows. There's me, Willie Carpenter, and I think that's pretty much the biggest names in the show. But
now, is this movie an indie or real?
It's an independent film.
Okay. Anyway, guys, we're at the end of the show, but I'd like to invite you back, and you can
anytime.
You want to become our house comedian?
I could do that.
Yeah, anytime you want to call in, and we'll get you down on tape and do something, or you have something to promote. Let us know.
As long as there's pizza, I'll come to this
consider
show.
yourself one of the family.
Right.
Anyway, you're listening to The View from Over Here.
With pepperoni.
Heard on crntalk.com, and you can get us at www.viewfromoverhere.com. And we shall be back next week, but Mike won't be, but Stan will. Have a great week, guys. Bye.
The View from Over Here is a co-production of Infinity X and TBG International. For further information, contact Malcolm Burman at 818-687-2784. That's 818-687-2784.
CRN Digital Talk Radio prides itself on being the station of every situation. Of course, you can always listen live through your local cable TV provider, as well as on our website at crntalk.com. But if cutting-edge